What if I told you your money mindset is the single biggest investment you're ignoring, and it's costing you more than your daily copy? Meet Selina, a late 20-something living in urban Singapore, juggling 12-hour workdays, side hustle dreams, and the haunting whisper that she's not money-minded enough. Despite a decent salary, she never felt secure. Her savings account was a revolving door, her emotional budget a disaster zone, and her coffee habit a daily betrayal. Overwhelmed, exhausted, and ticked off at every finance guru promising her Lamborghinis, she found herself wondering, could my own mindset be blocking my money, not my pay, not my job? In this deeply human story, we follow Selina as she transforms her inner narrative from "I don't deserve it" into "I design my destiny." We'll unpack 8 steps, from confronting scarcity programming to rituals that anchor abundance, that helped her shift her money mindset and turn emotional blocks into real bank growth. Spoiler, it's not woo without work, it's soul with spreadsheets. The scarcity script. Selina's earliest money memories weren't about abundance, they were about leftovers. Growing up in a 3-room HDB flat in Badak, the money talk went like this: switch off the light. You don't need new shoes, you're still growing. And the immortal classic, we're not rich, okay? Her dad was a technician, her mom a hawker assistant. Every cent counted, every treat was a luxury. And if she ever wanted something fancy, the guilt came free of charge. No GST needed. By the time Selina hit 28, she had internalized this so deeply that even when she earned a stable income, she acted like she was still broke. She felt broke. It didn't matter that her bank account said otherwise. Her brain was stuck in panic mode, pre-installed with a scarcity mindset. She didn't dare dream big. She didn't dare invest. She didn't even dare spend on herself without hearing the ghost of her mother muttering, "Ayo, waste money." Here's what no one tells you. Scarcity isn't always obvious. It's not just about being poor. It's about operating from a belief that money is like oxygen in a locked room. Everyone's gasping, and if you breathe too deeply, someone else will suffocate. It makes you hoard, panic, and undersell your worth, just in case. And it's sneaky. Selina found herself sabotaging job opportunities, undercharging for freelance gigs, and feeling guilty every time she took Grab instead of the MRT. Scarcity doesn't just affect your spending. It becomes the lens through which you view everything. And it's exhausting. One afternoon, while doom-scrolling Reddit's R-Payer Personal Finance SG, Selina read a post that hit different. The user wrote, "My bank account isn't the problem. It's my belief that I'm not allowed to enjoy money." Boom. That's when it clicked. Scarcity wasn't in her wallet. It was in her wiring. Identifying your inner money voice. Once Selina realized she wasn't entirely in charge of her thoughts, she started paying attention to who was. That's when she met Nora and Wally. Nora, the narrator, was the voice that sounded suspiciously like her secondary school principal. "That's not very responsible. You're going to regret this. Do you even understand CPF?" She was judgy, know-it-all, and always lurking. Then there was Wally, the worrier. Wally was chaos in human form, a headless chicken who screamed, "You're going to be poor. You're going to eat grass. Don't trust anyone." Together, they were the worst financial podcast ever. 24/7 negative commentary on everything Selina did. One day, after spending $38 on a pottery class, which she loved, by the way, Nora chimed in. That money could have gone to savings. Wally screamed, "What if you need that for medical bills?" Instead of spiraling, Selina took a deep breath and said, "Shut up, both of you. I'm allowed to enjoy things." It was the first time she realized she didn't have to listen to those voices. So she gave them names. She wrote their traits down, and she started to catch them in the act. Every time they popped up, she'd say, "Ah, Nora, Wally, welcome back. But I'm not taking your advice today." This wasn't just cute self-help fluff. It was neuroscience. By identifying the voices in her head as separate from herself, she reduced their power. She started making money decisions from Selina, not her subconscious programming. You can't heal what you won't name. Selina named her demons, and slowly she took the mic back, rewriting your money story. Selina's next breakthrough came in a notebook with a gold-foiled cover that said, "Dream Big," which she found wildly ironic at the time. Inside, she started rewriting her financial story. She wrote down all the beliefs she had inherited. Rich people are greedy. I'll never be financially free unless I marry someone rich. If I make too much, I'll lose friends. She looked at that list and laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was absurd how long she had carried those beliefs without question. Where did they come from? TV dramas, auntie gossip, childhood trauma disguised as financial advice? She took a red pen and wrote beside each one, "Not true." Then, with a glitter gel pen, because vibes matter, she started crafting new scripts. Money flows to me when I align with my values. Wealth is not selfish. It's a tool for impact. I am allowed to receive without guilt. These weren't just words. They became mantras. She recorded them in her phone. She whispered them during walks. She started every Monday by saying them out loud in the mirror while brushing her hair. Something shifted. Her decisions changed. She stopped taking low-paying gigs. She started negotiating. She unsubscribed from comparison traps online. She became a curator of her money narrative. And in doing so, she stopped feeling like a side character in her financial story. You don't have to burn your past to build your future, but you do have to rewrite the script. The mirror habit. Ooh, of all the changes Selina made, the mirror habit was the one that made her feel the most unhinged and the most powerful. Every Sunday night, she'd light a candle, scented, obviously, wrap herself in her fluffiest blanket, and stand in front of the bathroom mirror like she was giving a TED Talk to herself. She'd look herself in the eye and say, "You are a money magnet. You make wise choices. You deserve joy and overflow." Some weeks, she didn't believe it. Some weeks, she cried while saying it. But she never stopped. What started as an awkward affirmation ritual turned into a sacred space. The mirror habit became her weekly reset, not just for her finances, but for her confidence. She would check her spending plan, allocate joy money, and write one thing she was proud of from the past week. It wasn't about perfection. It was about presence. One day, she caught herself smiling mid-ritual and thought, "Damn, I believe me now." The mirror habit helped her reclaim her narrative, not from her bank, not from her job, but from her own reflection. Because sometimes the only permission slip you need is the one you write for yourself. Joy money is not a crime. Selina once believed that fun and finances were mutually exclusive, like oil and water, or gym memberships and actual gym attendance. She used to feel like every dollar needed to be justified. Why did you buy that book? Do you need another latte? Is this necessary? Her inner financial committee, Nora and Wally, remember? Made her feel like even a $12 sushi set from Don Don Donkey was a criminal offense. Then she learned about joy money, the revolutionary idea that spending on things that make you happy is not just allowed. It's essential. Joy money is what turns a life of financial restriction into one of financial alignment. It's the treat yourself category with a plan. A line in your budget specifically set aside for things that make you light up inside, guilt-free. Selina started with $50 a month. That was her spark budget. And no, it didn't go to investment apps or groceries. It went to candles that smelled like childhood dreams, earrings shaped like croissants, and indie bookstore hauls. Guess what? She didn't spiral. She didn't end up bankrupt. Instead, she felt empowered, because choosing joy, with intention, reminded her why she was managing money in the first place. Money isn't just about surviving. It's about designing a life that doesn't feel like a punishment. The soft budget revolution, CU. Selina tried rigid budgeting apps. Once, it ended with crying, a spreadsheet meltdown, and 3 emergency bubble teas. So she invented what she called the soft budget, a flexible feelings first framework that didn't punish her for being human. Instead of categories like food, transport, and emergency savings, Selina broke her money into emotional zones: essentials, survival, joy money, spark future. Selina, security overflow, generosity and growth. Every month, she'd sit down with tea and a pastel highlighter set and assign her income accordingly. If one month was tight, she'd reduce joy a little, but never cut it completely. If she got a freelance bonus, it went straight to Overflow, where she could decide later if it became a gift, a donation, or an investment. The soft budget didn't shame her for having wants. It didn't bark at her for mistakes. It simply said, let's make this work, together. She even renamed her budget file to Selina's Freedom Plan XLSX. And suddenly, she stopped dreading money check-ins. They became her version of self-care Sundays, with numbers. The lesson? Your budget doesn't need to be brutal to be effective. It just needs to speak your language. From shame to sharing. The turning point for Selina wasn't a big raise. It was a WhatsApp voice note. She sent it to her closest friend, Jan, after one of her budgeting nights. Okay, I know this is weird, she began, but I just did my money check-in, and I think I actually feel okay for the first time in years? Jan replied with 3 crying emojis and a confession. OMG, I've been so stressed too. Let's talk about it. That conversation turned into a Sunday brunch. That brunch turned into a group chat. That group chat turned into a monthly money and mimosas ritual with 3 other women. Every session, they shared their wins, their fears, their money goals, and even their dumbest buys. No judgment, just honesty. It was liberating. Selina realized that shame thrives in silence, and community is the antidote. When we speak our money truths out loud, they lose their power. When we share what we're learning, we grow faster. When we laugh about our dumbest splurges together, we heal. She didn't need a finance guru. She needed financial friends. And now, every time someone says, budgeting is boring, she replies, not when there's wine and collective trauma. Overflow energy. Selina used to think financial freedom meant having enough to leave your job and live in Bali forever. Spoiler, it doesn't. Freedom, for her, became about choice. Saying no without fear. Saying yes without guilt. It looked like turning down toxic freelance clients because she didn't need the money that badly. It looked like taking a random Thursday off to go on a long walk by the beach, because why not? It looked like donating to a friend's cause without checking her balance twice. Overflow energy isn't about being rich. It's about no longer feeling like you're drowning. It's a vibe. It's when your money finally feels like a partner, not a predator. Selina started calling it her overflow era. It didn't happen overnight. It was the result of years of inner work, soft budgeting, joy money, mirror rituals, and brave conversations. But when it clicked, it clicked. She felt expansive. She felt aligned. She felt free. And the best part? She didn't get there by copying someone else's financial plan. She got there by writing her own, one soft step at a time. Selina didn't become a millionaire. She didn't stumble onto a get-rich-quick scheme or manifest a sugar daddy from the void. What she did do was reclaim control. She redefined wealth on her own terms, not flashy, but honest. Not viral, but real. Not perfect, but powerful. She built a money system that supported her emotional health, her friendships, and her future. That made room for joy and discipline. That turned guilt into agency and shame into connection. And isn't that the goal? Not just to survive adulting, but to thrive in it, with a soft budget in one hand and bubble tea in the other. So here's your mission. If you're done doom scrolling and ready to glow up, build your Joy Money Fund. Try the soft budget revolution. Share your story. Someone else needs to hear it. And if you're still thinking, this sounds nice, but I could never pull it off, stop. You already started. You watched this video. That counts. Now comment below with the dumbest thing you ever bought out of burnout. Let's heal together. And don't forget to hit subscribe because financial freedom loves consistent content. Go get your Overflow energy, friend. You've earned it. And hey, if today's episode gave your mindset a little upgrade, don't forget to tap that subscribe button so you don't miss tomorrow's dose of magic. Yeah, and maybe set a reminder or just binge the next one right now? Yay! It's right there on the screen. Go on, click it. Your future self says thanks.